Howdy, hi. It is Dear Job Sports WNBA recap plus ranting and discussing championship odds video for August 4th, 2025. We are going to take a look at the recap and then some championship stuff for tomorrow. Let's get into the video. All right, finally, I have a positive day in the WNBA. Finished it out 8-5, bringing our season record to 227 and 215. I'm going to recap the pretty interesting day we had in the W. Then we'll get on to some championship odds for the rest of the season. Game number 1, we hit both of our bets. It was the Connecticut Sun at home plus 12.5 and the under 171.5. The Liberty, they stopped their losing streak. They get their first win. Final score here, 87-78. This was the Sabrina show. She dropped 36 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. The next leading scorer on the team was John Quell with 21. Then you got to go to Emma Miesemann, who played. She scored 11. And the next highest was 6 points, Rebecca Gardner. The rest of the team did a whole bunch of nothing. Natasha Cloud, 1 of 7. Their bench literally did nothing. It was Sabrina, and it was John Quell. Connecticut, more of a team effort. Marina, 10-3-2. Bria Hartley, 12-3-4. Tina Charles, 17-8. Then you had Anissa Mora with 16-9. So shout out to Anissa for really putting together a good performance. They get the cover. The under hits. That is a fantastic way to start out the day. All right, next game we had, it was the Washington Mystics on the road at the Atlanta Dream. We win 1 of 2 here. We hit the over, 155.5. We lost the Mystics plus 6.5 on the spread. This one started off really good. The Mystics had an 11-point lead at the end of the first quarter, 23-12. Then they gave up 28 points, 31 points, and 28 points in the following quarters. Final score here, Atlanta 99, Mystics 83. How do you hold the team to 12 points in the first quarter, then almost give up a century bomb on them? I have no idea. The Atlanta Dream, who scored for them? Answer, decent amount of people. Alicia Gray dropped 22, 6-4. Jordan Canada dropped 16. Bree Jones, 23. Nia Coffey off the bench, 15. Naz Hillman, 14-13. The only person who really didn't play that well was Maya Caldwell, and she only played 10 minutes. So this team absolutely popped off. Really nothing else to say there. Mystics, they choke away another basketball game. They are now 2 games below 500. The rest of the season is not looking good for them. Bringing up their schedule, they have a few easy wins coming up. You play at the Sky, that should be a win. At the Wings, maybe. But you got Lynx, Fever, Sparks, Aces, Storm, Liberty, Sparks, Mercury, Fever, Liberty. That's brutal. You do have 2 games against the Sun, but how the Sun are looking recently, they honestly might split those. So, Mystics, they hit the over, but we don't hit the cover on their spread. Next game took the Fever plus 2.5. This was way closer than it had to be. Indiana, 78. Seattle, 74. If you would have told me prior to that Kelsey Mitchell went 3 of 16 from the field and 0 of 8 from deep, and the Fever still won the game outright, I would have told you were smoking something real loud. But they did. Shout out to Natasha Howard, dropping 21-5. Aaliyah Boston, 16-12. Sophie Cunningham, 17 points, 4 of 5 from deep. Things I did not have on my bingo card, that would have been one of them. She had a fantastic game. Seattle, they could not hit the broadside of a barn. 74 points. They shot at 13% from deep. 1-3. 2 of 15. They win the turnover battle by 1. They win the rebound battle by 5. So you win both of those, but you still lose the game because you cannot make a 3-pointer to save your life. So we lose on the Storm over. We hit the Fever with the spread. All right, next game we had, it was the Phoenix Mercury on the road at the Chicago Sky. This one started off probably the ugliest game of basketball I've seen. Then the Mercury remembered how to play. Final score here, Phoenix 83, Chicago 67. So we hit the Mercury minus 12.5. They lost the first quarter 13-19. The Mercury really did not play that well. 45% from the field, 28% from deep. They lose the rebound battle. They win the turnover battle. But again, they just couldn't shoot the basketball. Chicago Sky, they can never shoot the basketball. They only scored 67 against a Mercury defense that has given up 100 points in its previous 2 games. They can't even score 70. They shoot 37% from the field, 25% from deep, 56% from the free throw line. Looking at it more in depth from a team perspective, Rebecca Allen, 1 of 7. Rachel Banham, 1 of 7. Kia Nurse, 1 of 8. The only people who played well, Michaela Onyenwere went 5 of 11. Cardoso, 5 of 11. E. Will, off the bench, 7 of 11. 15 points and 15 rebounds. The rest of the team was horrible. So, shout out to the Mercury for finally getting a win and a cover. Satu Sabli did not end up playing in this game. She missed it due to quote-unquote personal reasons. What that really means, I don't know. But if you want to find out, you can probably Google it. I have not Googled that yet. All right, now we're going to talk about, we hit our 2 player props. We missed on Kelsey Mitchell. The 2 we hit, we had Sonia Citron, points and rebounds over 16.5. Then we had Gabby Williams, PRA, over 21.5. Sonia, we stood no business of hitting this bet. She covered by hitting her last 3 field goal attempts when they were down almost 20 with a minute and a half left. She made 3 in a row to hit this. She finishes with 16 points and 1 rebound, going 4 of 11 from the field, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. So shout out to her, shout out to the coaching staff for letting her play 32 minutes, which was the most on the team by 6. The next closest was Kiki with 26. So shout out to the Mystics coaching staff. Next, we had Gabby Williams, PRA, over 21.5. This was never a doubt. She finished with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. And she didn't even play that great of a game. She only shot the ball 9 times. She went 5 of 9. Gabby's just the kind of player you look up and you're like, oh, Gabby has 11 points and 6 rebounds. I didn't even realize she was on the court. She's just sneaky in the way she does it. Don't really know how to explain it. You just watch her play and you're like, wow, I didn't even know you were playing. And you have the most amount of points in your team. Weird. And the final thing we won was the over in the Golden State Valkyries and the Las Vegas Aces game. Of course, the Aces couldn't have done this yesterday. They score 101 points today. 27, 23, 26, 25. And it was their entire team. So yesterday, no one was able to do anything. Today, everyone was able to do everything. It was led by Jewel Lloyd off the bench, scoring 27. You then had Jackie Young drop 25 and 8. Asia, double-double, 14 and 14. Chelsea Gray, 11, 5, and 6. Their entire team just did whatever they wanted. Then on the other side, you have Golden State Valkyries. I don't want to say we got screwed on injury news here, but they did not play. No Monique Billings, no Tiff Hayes, no Xanda Lassini. All of people who were taken off of the injury report when I posted the video yesterday. I think I still would have taken I still would have taken the Valkyries here, but instead of 6.5 or 5.5, I would have gotten 9.5. Wouldn't have mattered from a betting standpoint, but you can't just I hate the injury report. You just say 3 people are going to play, and then none of them play. Whatever. All right, losers, I already discussed. We will go over again. Mystics plus 6.5 looked good to start, then they got absolutely destroyed. Seattle Store game, nobody could make a shot. Chicago, dude, I got to stop. I cannot take any more Chicago Sky overs. We know this. When the Sky play and they don't have Angel Reese and Ariel Atkins, you take the under. That should be an auto bet. You must take the under. I think I checked earlier. The Sky have scored 80 points as a team once in their last 8 games. One time have they scored 80 points or more. Their previous scores, 78, 49, 68, 57, 78, 66, 67. They're barely getting to 70. This is an egregious basketball team. No more Chicago Sky overs. We took the Valkyries. They got absolutely steamrolled by the Aces. Then you had Kelsey Mitchell. Again, the Fever won the game by 4. If Kelsey would have played good, they probably would have won this by 15. She went 3 of 16 from the field, 0 of 8 from deep. She shot it 16 times and only scored 9 points. Probably the worst game I've seen from Mitchell in a while, but it doesn't matter too much because the Fever still hit the cover. All right, that's the recap. Let's get on to the championship odds I have picked out for the rest of the season. All right, so since there are no WNBA games actually taking place tomorrow, I thought this would be a good day to go ahead and talk about what we currently have for the season championship odds. Obviously, there are 3 teams who are just basically dead already. Connecticut Sun, no. Chicago Sky, no. Dallas Wings, also no. So there is a line above them, seeing as though any money you bet on them is simply a donation. These are the current odds according to FanDuel. Could have picked somewhere else to get a little better out on a team or a little worse odds on a team for trying to fade them. I'm not going to do that. So I'll read out the odds, then we'll talk about what I think are good value and bad value teams. All right, so got 2 teams basically up top. New York Liberty sitting at plus 160, Minnesota Lynx at plus 170. Then there's a big jump. Phoenix Mercury plus 700, Indiana Fever plus 1,000, Atlanta Dream 1,400. Then there's another little small jump to 2 teams, the Aces plus 2,100, the Seattle Storm plus 2,300. Then there is a massive jump to the 3 teams who are realistically fighting for the final playoff spot. Golden State Valkyries plus 12,000, Los Angeles Sparks plus 15,000, and the Washington Mystics plus 24,000. I broke it down on the right side. I think there are 2 teams with decent long shot odds, that being plus 1,000 or more. And then there's a few teams who I don't think you should ever put any money on because that would simply be a donation. So let's get into it. Team number 1, if we are talking pure value, it has to be the Sparks at plus 15,000. I think that number is absolutely absurd for a team that is as good as they are and as deep of a roster as they are. Now with Cameron Brink back in the lineup coming off the bench, that is a defensive specialist. If the Sparks are up early and you have a 7-point lead going into a final quarter, you put in Brink down low and you tell her to hold down the fort, she can probably do a very good job at that. So I think plus 15,000 is a bit high. Currently, they have a top 3 offense in the WNBA. I mean, you're starting 5. You have Kelsey Plum, you have Rakia Jackson, you have Hamby, you have Stevens. Alleman's not going to really score the basketball, but she's pretty good at distributing it. One of the best offenses in the W. They've been really good recently, 5-1 in their last 6 games. It looks like they're figuring it out on the defensive end as well. I like them. I think plus 15,000 is ridiculous. If they make the playoffs, which is obviously the biggest if, seeing as though they're 12-15 at the time of me making this video, they could be a serious threat to either the Liberty or the Lynx up top in that first round. Both of those teams struggle with size and they struggle with rebounding. Those are 2 things the Sparks are very good at and have a lot of. So I think Sparks plus 15,000 got to be the best bet on the board. Next one I'm looking at, it's going to be the Dream at plus 1,400. I think it's kind of absurd that they have a worse championship odds than the Fever and honestly even the Mercury. If this team is healthy with BG and Ryan Howard, they are 100% a championship contender. You're telling me a team with Alicia Gray, who is potentially in MVP conversations right now with Nafisa Collier hurt, Jordan Canada at point guard. Your bench has been fantastic recently. Then you have Bree Jones down low. Ryan Howard comes back feeling better. You're telling me this team is not top 3. This is a 100% top 3 team in the WNBA. They've already gone on the road this year to Minnesota and won a game. That's not easy to do. That's only been done once in a game that actually counted in the record this season. So they've proven they can beat good teams. They've taken Liberty down to the wire twice at New York. I think plus 1,400 is an absurd odd, especially with how good this team is roster-wise. Now, we're going to talk about some teams that I think have horrible odds and you should not put any money on. 1, the Golden State Valkyries. They started off hot. Now their entire team is injured. Yes, I understand they have a better record than the Sparks and the Mystics, but I think they're about to lose a ton of games. Who's out for the season? Kayla Thornton, out for the season. Monique Billings would appear to be hurt more serious than they're actually letting on. Tiff Hayes has missed a bunch of games. Xanda Licini missed another game today. This is horrible odds at plus 12,000. If they do make the playoffs, you then have to ask yourself, do you trust them enough in a series? And that answer is no. The other argument for the Sparks, I trust them in a 5-game series. They have a solid enough lineup where if they do make it to the playoffs, I can 100% see them taking a game at the Lynx, at the Liberty, and then going home and running the table. I cannot say the same for the Valkyries. They're too inconsistent, and they just don't have the shooters to keep up with the other team. So I think plus 12,000 is a donation. Now, these next two, they're the front runners for a reason. They have the best odds for a reason. I think betting plus 160 and plus 170 and having to wait 2 months for your result to pan out is just a horrible idea in premise. If you wanted to go get decent odds at plus 170 for any other sport, I'd take it at literally anything else. You could find a really good tennis player getting disrespected any day of the week in catching plus 170. You could take the Browns money line week 1 plus 170, and I think it would be a better bet than betting on either of the top 2 teams to win it all. They're injured. Nafisa Collier is hurt right now. You have Breece Stewart, who's been hurt. Jonquel Jones was hurt earlier this season. And we've been able to tell if one of their stars goes down, their team crumbles. The Liberty lost 4 out of 5 games without having Stewie. They couldn't rebound the ball when they didn't have Jonquel. Minnesota Lynx currently don't have Fee. She was injured in the previous game. We don't know how long she's out for. I think betting plus 160 or plus 170 is ridiculous for an outcome that's as far away as this. It's just not even that good of a price. You would have to tempt me. I mean, to really tempt me, you would have to give me plus 350 to plus 400 for both teams. I see no value at all in plus 160 or plus 170. All right, then the final team we're going to talk about, it honestly hurts me that they're this bad at basketball. It's the Las Vegas Aces sitting at plus 2,100. I think this would be another donation. This team is horrible. Becky Hammond doesn't know how to coach. They just got dog walked at home. 53-point loss on your own court to the Lynx. If they play any top-tier team, they are getting absolutely destroyed. Plus 2,100. I think it would have to be around plus 7,000 or 8,000 for me to even consider putting any bout of money on it. Yes, they have Asia Wilson. Yes, their roster is good. They are the most inconsistent team in the W. They suck. So I think plus 2,100, donation. All right, that is it for today. I normally don't do videos like this, but since there was a 1-day break in the action, I figured, hey, let me do a recap of the previous day's results and get some championship odds as well. So here we are. I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.